Hello! I'm here with a very large layout share, 38 layouts that I created at the end of June, like the last few days of June, all of July, and then these last few days of August, just a few from those couple days. But I counted them all up. I have 38 layouts that I made, which I think is pretty amazing considering that the beginning of July I was sick and then I worked for the last 4 weeks, but I still was able to get in a lot of scrapbooking. I took part in a lot of challenges that were all over Facebook for the month of July, and I had a lot of fun. So this first layout comes from an Allison Davis class that she has going on right now on Facebook with sketches for 2-page layouts with only 4x6 photos. So I've only done one layout so far for that class, and I decided I wanted to scrapbook all of my wedding photos using the layouts from this class. So I printed everything in 4x6. I typically print in 3x4, so that was a little bit different for me, but I thought this class would be perfect because I wanted to print my wedding photos a little bit larger, and this class has great sketches for the 4x6. A lot of times they don't need to be cut down at all. This happened to be a lands portrait photo. I think portrait's up and down. So I cut it down to 4x4 and then just moved the journaling block over to accommodate that. And so when I make a 2-page layout, I treat it kind of like a large block, 12x24. I just tape the 2 pages together. And so that way when I'm done with it and stacking, I've just been folding it like that, and then I'm ready to put it in the album. I'll just slit down here and then put it in each side. So that's my first layout. And then this layout, I took part in a Facebook scrappy telephone hop where you got the person's layout before you, but you didn't see what their inspiration was. And so this was the layout that I created from that. And this is using a lot of the Heidi Swap Sun Chaser collection, along with bits and pieces from the June Hip Kit Club. Got that one. And then this next bunch of layouts, I'm gonna pull over. I started the summer thinking that I wanted to use up another Allison Davis class that took place. I'm trying to adjust the light because I see it's sort of glaring. I think that's probably better. Another Allison Davis class that I took, I think it was last summer, which was 1-page sketches with 6x6 paper pads. And so I did a couple layouts of that. I think I've shared most of them. I don't think I've shared this one yet. And then I got caught up in the paper issues, daily sketches, and kind of put this idea on hold. But this was one of the sketches in the Allison Davis 6x6 paper pads 1-page sketches class. That's a mouthful. That I made, and it was a grid style layout that actually was a lot smaller, and I made the squares a lot larger to accommodate my photos and then to do some embellishing. And this is using the Paige Evans Splendid collection. I pulled out all the pinks and the greens and a little bit of purple for Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. This is another one with a sketch from that 6x6 paper pads class. And this also uses supplies from Fancy Pants design team. Here's another one from the sketches for 6x6 paper pads. And this, I had printed my photo, I think it's a 5x5 photo, and it fit perfectly on a 6x6 piece of paper. In the Splendid collection, the paper is 6x8, so I did cut it down to be 6x6. And then I added all the circles in, and then some hand stitching, and then little bits and pieces. This paper's got foiling in it. It's a little tricky with the light to not get a glare on that. And then I don't think I've shared this one yet, but this was one more that I did with the sketch from the Sketches for 6x6 paper pad class. And I included some photos of Pluto. And then I believe this class had this sketch had a block here, and I turned it into little 2x2 squares. And then added some little stitched hearts around. And again, Paige Evans Splendid collection. Okay, this next bunch of layouts, I'm gonna pick up a big chunk of them, were all with the, there we go, I think that's a little bit better. We're all with sketches from the Paper Issues Facebook group. They had a sketch a day, and I did a lot of them. I don't think I did them all. I tried, but I got sidetracked at the end of the month. Maybe I'll go back though. But now, of course, they have their August scrap lift challenge, one a day, so it's always something, but I've got them all printed out. Maybe I'll go back to them in September. So this is one of the sketches. I used Fancy Pants Christmas collection, Cozy Christmas, which was from last year. I scrapbooked some pictures of my best friend's daughter from Christmas and made these little flowers, did a stencil in the back, had fun with this one. This is another Fancy Pants layout, also with a sketch from Paper Issues, and it was, I think the collection's called Bloom and Grow, and I had fun with the embellishments. How cute is this little girl climbing up the ladder to water her plants? We had gone to the farm and brought back all of our plants, tomatoes, cucumbers, and zucchini to plant back in June, and now we're finally just getting some of our crop coming up. Here's another one from Paper Issue Sketch. This is a photo from a trip pre-COVID, the summer of 2019, I took with my parents to Alaska. And here we happen to be in Victoria, British Columbia. And I really liked how this sketch used 6x6 paper pad and kind of tilted it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and then I went with a diagonal design. This is from the same day. I might even put these side by side in my album. But also another Paper Issue sketch. Used lots of LA Studio supplies. They had a really cute die set with a star, and then I pulled out some older things. All this wood veneer and this acrylic title was all in my LA Studio stash. All right, this was another sketch. And this was a photo from 4th of July. So I pulled out from this LA Studio kit, the reds, the blues, and then I threw in some yellow. Okay, another Paper Issue sketch. I used the We Are Memory Keepers banner board punch to do the pennants. There's actually pennants there, but it kind of got covered with the photo. And this layout, I had a lot of extra photos, so I made a pocket in the top of my layout. And then I just have additional, my niece photo bombed us, some additional pictures. I made some tags. And then it just, these can just kind of tuck right in there and then can be pulled out, which I thought was a good way to get the rest of the photos in without having to create a whole nother layout. And this was the Sun Chaser collection from Heidi Swap. Again, a lot of it was part of the June Hip Kit Club kit. And then this layout goes along with that last one. A picture of my niece and I with our fun drinks. I actually think that this was supposed to be more like that, but it got photographed tilted, so let's fix that. Sun Chaser collection again. This is more of that June Hip kit with the Sun Chaser collection. And again, another sketch from Paper Issues. I made there was a banner along the top, and I decided to make that with butterflies. I layered two together and stitched down the center. And then I'm getting into lots of Disney scrapbook layouts coming up here. So this was another sketch. I swiped Distress Oxide ink down, did some coordinating stitching in the same color, and then added in lots of fun embellishments from a Simple Stories collection. Can't remember what that one's called. It's their latest kind of animal one. And then another one with that same collection and photos from Animal Kingdom when we went on the safari. And it was kind of cool because this lion was the actual lion that was in the Lion King live action movie. So that was sort of neat. I used some fun flair from Scrap and Happy Studio. And I always have a lot of fun with the clusters with Simple Stories embellishments. They have lots of fun little things to tuck around. pick up the next stack. And these are still all layouts with paper issue sketches for the month of July. This is another Animal Kingdom layout with some more simple stories. I put a lot of the animals around with the Tree of Life in the background. I used a title piece from Color Cast Designs. Had fun with that one. Another sketch, and this is a layout from when we had dinner at Ohana, which was at the Polynesian Resort. And so before our dinner, we got there early, naturally. You have to plan for a lot of time every time you're traveling throughout the Disney resorts. We took some pictures around the resort. And then this was a drink we ordered. It was supposed to be like a strawberry lemonade, and it came with this cute little Mickey head. And so I drank it just like this. And then I got to almost the bottom and the Mickey head fell in. And I drank it and I said, oh wow, it tastes a lot better with that in it. I think you were supposed to put that in to begin with. And it gave you that strawberry flavor rather than pure lemonade. But he was too cute to put in there. I enjoyed looking at him the whole night. All right, for this one I pulled out a older crepe paper collection that I thought kind of went with the Polynesian vibe. And I used it for a few layouts with photos from the Polynesian. Here's another one, another paper issue sketch. Had lots of hexagons. I did hand stitch in a couple of these hexagons. They had the Lilo and Stitch surfboard there. This was also from the Polynesian, but I went with a different kit for this one. This is Sun Chaser again, and some bits and pieces from the June Hip Kit Club. I used a title from Pear Tree cut files. I did some inking along the bottom of it to give it a little more color. A subtitle here with Color Cast Designs. And then I wrote the story of our dinner at Ohana. Okay, another sketch layout. This one is from when we were in China at Epcot. It's actually photos from two different days. So this one was with Mulan in the back, and then they had this beautiful panda topiary, and then we went back a couple days later and we had dinner there. So I used embellishments from the June Hip Kit, and it had simple stories and Heidi Swap in it. So I kind of played on the travel theme with let's get away to China, since in Epcot you travel around the world. Here's another one with that same kit, another sketch. This is the sketch actually that I designed for Paper Issues last month. And I had fun with all strips of pattern paper, and I fringed them and then made two little clusters and did a diagonal design. Here's another one with a sketch from Paper Issues, and this is lots of LA Studio supplies. I made banner strips. Now this paper, LA Studio paper, only comes in 6x8, so I just made a cut and then hid it behind the card so it looks like it's a full piece, but it's really two separate pieces there. Okay, another Paper Issue sketch. And in Epcot, Orange Bird was the sponsor of the flower festival, so I got Orange Bird ears, and then we got this drink, was called a Orange Bird creamsicle shake. So I used a stencil in the background along with some scrapbook.com pops of color, and ran that through the stencil, and I got this really kind of cool shimmery look. And then in this collection, the Page Urban Splendid, she had some pieces with lemons and oranges, and they were perfect, and the colors were just perfect. All right, another Paper Issue sketch. This time I pulled out Maggie Holmes' round trip collection and did a couple layouts of our photos from France in Epcot. This one was with Belle. I fussy cut a lot of these flowers and tucked them around. This was perfect to cut out of the paper. This one might have been a die cut actually, because it said Paris. Here's another one, Paper Issue sketch again, more photos from France. And I used a edge punch to punch all of these to make sort of a textured piece going down. And then I've got two clusters. I thought this kind of looked like old time France, the houses, so that I went with that. And then one more with the photo from France. This was from the Ratatouille ride, which we did not get to go on. I couldn't seem to get us Genie Plus tickets for it, and the line was over 2 hours. I used metal die to cut the hexagons and to cut the outline pieces. Okay, and I think that's my last one with a sketch. I'm just looking through what I have left. Yes, that's my last one for the paper issue sketches. And so now what I have left is all layouts I made for Pear Tree cut files. So this is one I just made for fun. I loved this wreath, camera wreath, and I knew when I saw it I wanted to do a rainbow idea, and Paige Evans always has lots of rainbows and an array of colors in her collection, so the Splendid collection was perfect. This was a photo from Epcot. It was the flower festival when we were there, so everything was just gorgeous. And then I did some color matching around the layout. These paperclip hearts, I love them. I put them on lots of my Paige Evans layouts. Okay, here's another one with a Pear Tree cut file. This one I believe was for the July Design Team Challenge. I think it was July, to use this cut file. I did some coloring with Distress Oxide and I backed it with vellum. I left it very loose so it kind of flows. I didn't put any adhesive under there. And then I used 2 photos from Cape May. After we got married, we went down there just overnight, just to kind of get away and relax, and then back to work. And this is Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Coastal, I believe it's called. All right, this is kind of a double dipper. So I've got Pear Tree cut files title, but then also this is a sketch from the Allison Davis 6x6 paper pads class. Yes, got the whole title in. What I really like about this is I did lots of colored stitching from my machine around the outside. I love all of the stamping. And I think the colors are just perfect for Goofy. This is most supplies from LA Studio. Actually, I think all supplies from LA Studio. All right, here's another one for Pear Tree cut files. This hibiscus wreath was from the July release, and I used some more of the crepe paper collection that I used for my photos from the Polynesian. And I wanted it to say Ohana means family. Okay. Another Pear Tree cut files. When I saw this scene cut file from July, I just knew it was going to be perfect for some photos from what's it called? Not Under the Sea, but I think it's just called The Seas at Epcot with Finding Nemo. So I struggled a little bit, you can kind of see it here. With this, I put the layout down on the paper and it was completely crooked, and so I had to I cut pieces of it off and then I pieced it together, and I hid the seam with the tag here. But I think I made it work in the long run. And this was papers from a Simple Stories collection that came in an Erica Rose Creates kit for, I think it was like the month of May or June. All right, another layout with Paige Evans Splendid and another cut file. So these sunglasses were a cut file from Pear Tree. I cut them out of pattern paper and then I made an offset and cut that in vellum to go behind. And I went with the rainbow theme and photos of us in front of Hollywood Studios. All right, this is a layout that's coming to Pear Tree Facebook group on Sunday. This is the Design Team Challenge cut file for August, this title Memories. And what I did was I replaced the O with a photo, and then behind the cut file I tucked in things like there's a floral, there's some tickets, here is some kites, here's a camera, some more tickets. So I tucked them behind the cut file and then trimmed it out. And I pulled out an older Maggie Holmes collection called Carousel for this one because I thought the colors were just perfect for Magic Kingdom. And so this layout is going to sit next to this one. There's a couple more photos from the front of Magic Kingdom. This one actually doesn't have any Pear Tree cut files on it, but it goes with that other one. That's why I put them together. I did this one for a Hip Kit Club challenge. The challenge was to use black and white element at 3 pattern papers, 2 fonts, stamping, and at 2 to 3 photos. I think that was everything. I pulled out a kit. All of this came in a kit from August 2017 from Hip Kit that I had never touched before. Okay, here's another Pear Tree. And this one is a banner cut file, which I used an Erica Rose Creates Patreon kit that just came in the mail with some Echo Park for this. Let's see. Where did that one go? Maybe there. I have one more. Another one with that same Erica Rose Creates kit with Echo Park. And this is my first layout, the only one I've made so far for the paper issues scrap lift challenge. And I scrapped a picture of the strawberry pie we made after going strawberry picking. I used a bunch of pieces of Bramble Fox perspectives on here too, some Scrap and Happy Studio flair, kind of all my favorite things. All right, so that's everything. That is 38 layouts. There we go. For, I would say, mostly July, a little bit of June and August. I have off until September 1st, and I plan on doing lots of scrapbooking, so hopefully I have lots more to share with you at the end of this month. Hope you're having a great day and you have some scrappy time planned for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.